The secret clause for maximum asset protection, beneficiary-controlled trusts. 1. Why most living trusts miss the mark. So here's the deal. Most people think a living trust is the final word in estate planning: avoid probate, pass assets to family, and move on. But after reviewing thousands of trusts, I can tell you, most are missing one critical feature that determines whether your legacy stays in the family or ends up with creditors and ex-spouses. The missing piece? The beneficiary-controlled trust provision. So what does that actually mean? It means you can protect your beneficiaries from future lawsuits, divorces, or bad luck by giving them controlled access instead of outright ownership. Footnote: a beneficiary-controlled trust provision adds a protective structure that keeps inherited assets insulated from creditors even after the grantor's death. 2. The common mistake that destroys protection. When parents set up their trust, they often say, "My kids are mature. Just split it 50-50 when we're gone." But that single decision, an outright distribution, removes all protection. The assets pass into your beneficiaries' personal names, making them fair game for lawsuits, divorces, or debt collection. So what does that actually mean? It means what was once a family legacy can vanish in a courtroom. The solution is to keep assets inside the trust where the law still protects them. Footnote: outright distributions transfer both ownership and liability, whereas retained trust structures keep assets legally protected. 3. How beneficiary control works. Under this provision, the trust doesn't dissolve when you pass away, it continues as a protective entity. Your beneficiaries can serve as their own trustees and manage the trust, but distributions are made only on a discretionary basis. If your child needs funds, they can approve a distribution for themselves, but as long as the money stays inside the trust, creditors can't touch it. If they're sued or go through a divorce, the trust assets remain untouchable. So what does that actually mean? It means control stays with the family, but ownership stays protected by the trust. Footnote: a discretionary distribution clause gives beneficiaries limited authority to withdraw funds while preserving legal separation from personal liabilities. 4. When creditors come knocking. Let's say your beneficiary is sued. A judgment is entered against them. Normally, that creditor could seize cash, garnish wages, or attach inherited property. But in this structure, the assets are still inside the trust, an irrevocable trust once you've passed. Even a court can't pierce it. Creditors can't compel distributions, and judges can't rewrite the trust. The inheritance remains secure until your beneficiary needs it. So what does that actually mean? It means even in worst-case scenarios, your legacy is legally shielded by design, not luck. Footnote: once the grantor dies, the trust becomes irrevocable, placing its assets beyond the reach of creditors or court-ordered claims. 5. Strengthening the structure, the trust protector. But what if a judge argues your beneficiary has too much control? That's where the trust protector comes in. The trust protector is an independent third party, someone you appoint to step in and oversee the trust if needed. If your beneficiary faces a lawsuit, they can temporarily resign as trustee, and the protector steps in to handle distributions. That way, no one can claim the beneficiary owns the assets. So what does that actually mean? It means you've built an escape hatch into your trust, one that closes the door before creditors can even knock. Footnote: a trust protector provides third-party oversight, reinforcing legal separation between beneficiaries and the trust-protected assets. 6. Dividing powers, the two-trustee system. You can go one step further by separating powers. The distribution trustee, an independent person, handles payouts. The investment trustee, your beneficiary, manages how the money grows. This checks and balances model gives beneficiaries financial control while keeping disbursements tightly guarded. It's the perfect mix of freedom and protection. So what does that actually mean? It means your heirs can invest their inheritance but can't recklessly spend or lose it to outside claims. Footnote: assigning separate investment and distribution roles prevents abuse and enhances asset protection through divided authority. 7. Keeping the legacy alive. The best part? A beneficiary-controlled trust can last for generations. Beneficiaries can access what they need during life but leave the rest in trust for their own heirs. The assets compound, stay protected, and pass forward tax efficiently. So what does that actually mean? It means your wealth becomes generational, not just inherited, but preserved. Footnote: multi-generation BCTs create enduring, creditor-protected family wealth by maintaining assets within trust structures indefinitely. 8. Final thoughts: upgrading your existing trust. If your current trust makes outright distributions, you can restate it, no need to start from scratch. Add the beneficiary control provision, appoint a trust protector, and divide trustee powers. It's one of the most powerful estate upgrades available. So what does that actually mean? It means you don't have to rebuild your trust. You just have to make it bulletproof. Footnote: restating a living trust allows for asset protection enhancements without recreating the trust entirely.